sure I'm not having audio problems.
Can y'all hear me?
I had audio problems yesterday. I like to play my music. Can y'all hear me? See if I can get a thumbs up. Let's see, group, YouTube, comments. What is wrong with this fool? Why is he dancing? What is wrong with him? Why is this fool dancing? Always got a smile on his face. What's wrong with him? Doesn't he know the earth is falling apart, the world's going in calamity, bad things happen, people dying, all kind of crazy stuff? Yeah, all that's true. All that's true. But you gotta pause, y'all. You gotta pause and breathe. And I'm no kind of no yogi, no prophet, nothing like that. I'm scared to death with everybody else. I'm scared to death. Actually, no, I'm not really scared to death. I'm not. I just, people, good morning. I don't let things get to me. I don't. Well, that's a lie. That is a lie. Okay, I know. I just got caught lying. Y'all caught me almost crying on the live stream once. That's a total lie. I'm an emotional dude. I do what I have to, but that love is real. I'm gonna tell you this. The passion is real. This is not a game for me. I don't play with this. I got my divorce. All my friends went out drinking. Shoot, I became an activist. They're like, what's wrong with him? Let's go chase women. Nah. I gotta save kids. So the passion is real for me, but I don't let things bother me. I don't. I don't think that we have time to let things bother us. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna drop something on you, and then I'm gonna do my best to really let the comments drive things today. I don't have my comments going. Let me put this on. I was looking at a brother's channel on YouTube by the name of Bright Insight. Brother Jimmy, very, very wise. I said twice. That's not a word. Twice. I said wise. Very wise young man. Like how he thinks. But he posted a video yesterday. I'll post a link for it. But it was rather deep. Touched on climate change. I just see everything is all related. It's funny, scary, hilarious, all of that stuff. Y'all see that looking at the sky? Wait a minute, sky over here, there's a sky right there. I gotta figure my greens. No, that's my head. There goes sky right there. Look, y'all see the sky? Like it's the moon and there's something else up there. It ain't supposed to be up there. The hell is that? I think there is a reason that the elites always want everybody fighting. Always want everybody. Got to fight about something. If you ain't fighting about climate change, if you're not fighting about Gaza and Israel and Palestine, you're not fighting about Yemen, you're not fighting the left or right, you're not fighting somebody because of their skin color and what solar energy did to it. You're not fighting somebody because of your birth privilege. You're not fighting somebody. They just want you fighting. Doesn't matter what you fight over. They just want you to be dumb, stupid, and keep fighting because all of the leadership all over the world agree on one simple thing. You are not on their team. That's what they agree on. Lock solid. You can take the leadership of Palestine. You can take the leadership of Israel. You can take the American government. You can take the UK government. You can take the Russian government. You can take the Irish government. You can take all the African country government. You can take all of them, South American government, Puerto Rico government, everybody government. The one thing they all agree on, all of them, is we got to keep the monkeys under control. That's listen, we might fight, we might have some wars, we might kill a couple of, I'm going to send my monkeys to fight your monkeys, we can let the monkeys kill each other, but they agree on one thing. They want to stay in power, and the only way they stay in power is keep the human farm fighting. That's what they all agree. All agree, hands down. Keep the monkeys fighting. Keep them angry. Give them something to be angry about. Give them some religion. Give them some false science. Give them something. Make them join a tribe. Make them believe all vaccines all work all the time. Bear aspirin, headache medicine. Get them to believe it doesn't change their DNA. Get them to fight. Holistic medicine is the best. Modern science is crappy, you know. But all right, that I know I was starting to go somewhere and it just went a couple different directions. I don't know what the hell just happened there. But listen, I drank too much coffee. Y'all know what that is behind me? So this is what Brother Jimmy was talking about. It's pretty deep. He was talking about Planet X this morning, right? And so there was a report. Let me see how I can show this to you. Hold on. There was a report, and I got to click off of this because when I get too many of these windows open, the deep state come for me. Nah, it's my lack of CPU and my old my laptop. Let me show you this. See me. What the hell? Hold on. Let me show you this. Look at this. See if you can see this right here. I think I got a. Uh-oh. Nope, I didn't set it up. I didn't set it up. False news, fake news, fake news. Let me set it up. All right, I'm going to set it up. I think I need to do this. All right, give me 2 seconds. Technical difficulties. I need like a little waiting screen. Waiting on the dumb monkey. Waiting on the monkey. Waiting on the monkey. Waiting on the monkey. All right, there we go. That's there. And this. Look at this. USA Today. I know. USA the News. And the only reason I looked at USA News is because it's pertinent to the discussion. So let me see if I can make this bigger, put it behind my big head, like that, like that. I'm getting better with my technology, y'all. I'm technology. All right, check this out. And you see what's at the top, right? See bank news? Y'all see bank news? Banks are always at the top. So I make my head smaller. Bank news, banks are important. If y'all don't understand bank, like I posted something this morning, you know, I was listening to Brother Al on Trish and Bish. He said something that made me really think. He said, and we know this, but he said it very simple. Brother Al, I don't know if Al is in the house this morning, but he said something very simple. He said, we invade countries that don't have Rothschild banks. And when you really all put it together, when you just dumb it down and simplify, he's right. But that's why you got a bank commercial on the top of everything, because they need you to be dumb, stupid. They need you to always agree with the banks. They need you to sign up for anything that the banks want to do. All right, dang it. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Now I got the wrong thing happening. I got all kind of fake news happening this morning. All right, here we go. Go back. USA Today, climate change. So this is the only reason I'm looking at USA News, because it's all a lie. But look at this. The weird but true orbits of Jupiter and Venus affect the Earth's climate, new study shows. Now I'm going to have to click off of it. I'll post the link. Uh-oh.
Gold Peak brings you a home-brewed taste with a variety of flavors.
This is why. It's advertisements. If you're in America, you can never go on the internet. You can't do anything because they're constantly got millions of ads. Let me shrink to get rid of that. All right, shrinkage. There we go. So check this out. So new empirical evidence that the orbits of the solar system change your weather. Can you imagine what that means? Can you imagine what that means? What if we actually had no effect on the climate at all? What if we just some dumb monkeys and nothing we do actually affects anything? I know climate change, people about to flip out. Just go with me for a second on this. I'm not saying that we don't. I'm just saying, what if? What if the climate always changes? What if the earth always comes to calamity? What if we only have 4,000, 5,000, 13,000 years, what they say every 13,000 years, everything gets reset and we forget everything, we lose our damn memory? The ancient cultures in the past, that they all existed up to a certain point, that what they always did, they always tried to tell us we all gonna die, that bad things always happen. Now there's empirical evidence that where Jupiter is, where Venus is, its orbit, what it's doing directly affect our weather. Now imagine Planet X. Y'all know what Planet X is, right? This is where we found out a long time ago that there is a ninth planet in our solar system, and it's a massive planet, and that it has an elliptical orbit, and that it comes through our solar system, visits us every so often. You can talk to different people, they disagree on it. That I don't know anything about that. I'm not a climatologist nor a solar astrophysicist type dude. I'm a dude that sit here and says, you know what? Every now and then the science says something that's kind of true. And they work for the corporation that gets them to lie about the details of it because they don't want people, the 7 billion people uniting. Because remember, all governments agree that they don't want y'all united. So there can't be anything that ever comes out in the news that the dumb monkeys will stop fighting for. Dumb monkeys got to keep fighting, otherwise they lose their power. And so in walks Planet X. And you know Planet X, a large body that all astrophysicists agree on based on the actual perturbations, big word, perturbations of the Earth and the other planets in the solar system, that there is a larger planet that's out there. And when that planet visits us, it affects the orbit of all the other planets, including Venus and Jupiter and Earth. What if every 13,000 years, Planet X comes through and screws up our climate? I don't know. What if it's every 7,000 years? What if it's every 100,000 years? I don't know. What we do know is we are going to die if we keep fighting. What if the elite figured this out early? What if they figured out in Egyptian times and that elite handed down to the elite that came out of Europe, and that elite handed down to the modern elite now, wherever they are? I don't know. Y'all say they're in Israel. Y'all say they're in Britain, the Queen. Y'all say they're in America. I don't know anything about that. But what if they keep handing down that basic philosophy? You got to keep the monkeys fighting. Doesn't matter what they fight over. Keep them fighting. You know, the Prime Minister of the UK, Tony Blair, once said democracy is the hardest form of government to run because all the power is with the people. You basically can't do anything unless you keep the people fighting. Doesn't matter what they fight over, but you got to keep them fighting. And that's the only way you get some of their rights to where you can actually do something. That's where they come up, and Obama said it too with the balance. You got to balance between security and freedom. I know. I lose some people. They love Obama, love Tony Blair. They're running. I think some truth comes out of everything. What if it was just about keeping the truth from us? What if the climate is always going to come to a place of calamity and we all going to die eventually? But what if they figured it out ahead of time, before us, and they just don't want us to know? What if they just kind of keep a secret in the ancients and they drew on the cave walls and all the from the Mayans to the Egyptians to the whole 2012 thing to the native, the indigenous, to all the tribes all over in India? What if they all wrote down in these books that we're always told is a myth that the world does always end? And if we aren't using our collective 7 billion intelligence to help each other, to work with each other, to try to figure out a way to survive when climates change. Because these calamities, they don't happen overnight, right? They kind of get started. Planet X starts coming in, volcanoes start farting. Oh, no, it's not the cows. The cows start farting, volcanoes, CO2, human beings evolve, industrialization. Like, what if all of this actually does all affect the climate? But the bottom line is, eventually, it's all going to go bad. It's all going to go south for us. And what if that 0.01% figured that out? And they just don't want you to know. Why? Because they need time to build their bunkers. They need time to build their spaceships. Some of my friends believe that. They need time to prepare. And you know how they do it? But then they need resources. Man, they need coltan. They need tin and copper and gold. And the only way to get that stuff, the only way to form it and develop the technologies so that they can go save themselves, go to Elysium or wherever the hell they're going to go, is to keep the monkeys fighting. Is to keep the monkeys, doesn't matter what they fight about. Keep them not thinking about a grown man shooting a high-powered rifle into a child is a bad thing. You know, I was getting into these discussions. We were talking, you know, of course, Israel was a big topic yesterday. And I talked to everybody. You know, people, they come down on me. They say, why you talk to everybody? You're not supposed to talk to them. I talk to everybody, man. It's going to take 7 billion people to prevent whatever calamities that are coming. We need everybody. We need everybody. You know, there was yesterday in the Gaza protest, there was 61 people are now dead, and one was a baby. A baby. And the other was a 12-year-old kid, and a lot of them were youth. What if that was Nikola Tesla? What if that was Albert Einstein? What if that was the next Elon Musk? What if? What if we just lost our opportunity because we're playing monkey fight for leaderships that's all corrupt? Like talking to Brother Razek, he'll tell you the truth. The Palestinian leadership, they're corrupt. Just like the Israeli leadership is corrupt. But they convince people who don't look at the bigger picture that they're not corrupt. Like, it's insanity. It's a collective insanity of all the 99.9% all around the planet. I think some people are waking up, but others are just really discombobulated, confused, and they still trust those who cannot be trusted, ever. And it's not like we don't have evidence that they lied. They lie to us all the time. Posted something this morning. I'm always trying to talk to Americans and explain it to them. Like, listen, we are a oil company with a military. Like, that's our job. for this 1% that's making the bunkers and the spaceships to get the hell out of here before Planet X comes back, keep us fighting, is we provide the military. We provide the money to back certain governments to keep the monkeys fighting over there, send guns over there to keep those children monkey fighting the adult monkeys over in the Congo somewhere else. And we do all of this to keep it, and that's our job. And I try to convey to them the point, right? The point that we are a war economy, right? We make our money on murder, war, invasions, forced labor, slavery, and death. That is what America is. The only way you go to work in the morning and you feel good about what you do, working for your corporations, is you got to convince yourself that that's not what you support, that that's not who you are, that your God says that you're good and you're decent. And the American people are good, loving, decent people. And they try to tell everybody that. And that's how you go to work, and that's how you smile. That's how you go to Starbucks, get your unicorn latte, smile to the children. Tell them, get your indoctrination, go to school. Pledge allegiance to the flag. United States, well, I changed it this morning. United States corporations that dominate America. And to the republic for which they diluted. It can go a couple different ways, but it's the same thing in all countries. It's the same exact thing. You keep the people, the human farm, you keep the monkeys on the farm going back and forth and fighting each other, and it doesn't matter what they fight over. And then we elect leaders, and they're supposed to keep fighting. Guess what happened? I was looking at the news today. And it's funny. I wake up, I look at the news, I'm like, it's just so silly, stupid. It just all fits together. Y'all remember Mutada Al-Sadr? Y'all remember him? I know I said his name all wrong. Mutada Al-Sadr. I heard the name. I was like, that sounds familiar. Why is that name Mutada Al-Sadr? Why does that sound familiar? Well, they elected him into leadership in the Iraqi government. Ringing a bell? Ringing a bell. One of our enemies, the terrorist. One of the evil clerics who got troops to fight against the American troops. Oh, he's just an evil guy. We're going to bring hope and change, and we're going to win the hearts and minds of the Iraqi people. Which is why I find it funny that the first chance they got, they elected somebody that hates America, hates everything about America. So like this, to me, this is like things coming full circle. And I really want people to like really process and wake up. We're not here to help. We're not helping. And the people in Iraq know that. They knew that when they saw the colonial ships pulling up. They didn't see that. They saw the C-5s and C-141s. But when the colonial ships pulled up, because our ships fly now and they drop bombs on people instead of putting people in ovens, that's a whole nother discussion. They knew America wasn't coming to help. They're not confused. So the first chance, because we screwed up the election system, it actually works. It's not like ours. We didn't put the election system we put in South Africa and in Europe and other places where we control elections in the United States. But they somehow got an election system that actually works. And they said, oh no, they showed up to the polls and they voted in the most anti-American person possible, who will have the most influence on the government. Mutada al-Sadr. You got to be smart enough. But again, it's the same thing, right? It's keep the fences, keep the monkey fences, keep everybody in the fences, convince them that these borders exist and hope they don't ever walk to the border and realize, ain't no damn line here. I don't see no, there's no dotted line here. I saw it on the map. Damn it, it was on the internet. I'm standing here where the border's supposed to be. I don't see it. Which is, again, gets back to Gaza, which is what happened. Kids trying to run home, trying to run back over the border, trying to go back to their family homes, where their home is, and murdering them in cold blood as they try to run past these imaginary borders that do not exist. Borders that, if they didn't exist, human beings could migrate when these climate change things happen. But they get everybody locked into this mindset that fantasy is real. And it's not. Fantasy is fantasy. Real is real. What's real is you can't ever trust somebody that can't be trusted. That's what's real. What's real is if you have historical evidence that you can never trust leaders. Why do you still call them leaders? Why do you still follow? It's a slave mind. It's the slave. Maybe it's not called the slave mind. Maybe it's called the farm mind, because we are cattle on a human farm. And I think I wake up every day and I try to have conversations with my friends who are educating me, and I try to educate them on a few things that I know. And I think we're really just trying to say to the world, you're not a cow. You're not a cow. You don't have a tag on your ear. You don't belong. Let me get a picture. I think I showed the picture last time. The cow tags. You're not cattle. You're not on a farm. You are a free-thinking human being. You don't need, I just typed in cow tag. Guess what came up? Cow tagging system. You know, let me see if I can show this. Let me see if I can show this. You don't have one of these. This is not you. Let me see if I can get a good picture of her. There she go. There she go. Hey, baby. Look at her. I think every day we just try to tell people, that's not you. You don't have a tag that says America. You don't have a tag that says Palestine. You don't have a tag that says Israel. Look on your body somewhere. You don't have it. You don't belong to them. Y'all remember Crocodile Dundee? He said, belong to Mick. He went walkabout. That was his land. He said, belong to Mick. You belong to you. You don't belong to the black race. There's no such thing. You don't belong to the white race. Ain't no such thing. You don't belong to the Asian race. Ain't no such damn thing. You don't belong to a Christian religion. You don't belong to a Muslim religion. You belong to yourself. Belong a Mick. You don't belong to people who you never can trust. Ever. You can't ever trust a leader. Ever. So that's what I was looking at. I was looking at Planet X. I was like, man, what if the climate's always changing? And what if they know that this nonsense is coming? They would have to step it up. They would have to become more desperate the closer it got. If they didn't have the technologies that were sustainable, where they could sustain a civilization without all the cattle, you know, without all the division amongst the cattle. Make sure all the cattle stay in their fence and they move with the other fence. That's kind of how I see it. I see people over here, we behind this fence, we're moving at the other guy. The Mexicans are moving at the Americans, they're moving back. That's an ugly face. That's an ugly face. But what if we actually are all family? Right? What if we actually, if our brains evolve fast enough that we evolve sentience to where when you see a child being shot by a grown man, you say that shouldn't happen, right? The whole world came out yesterday, the whole world, and said, basically condemning Israel. Restrain yourself. You're not acting sentient. You're acting evil. Nobody shoots anybody running to an imaginary border. You're ignorant. But you still have people who aren't tapped into enough sentience that they're joining a team. What if we evolved our brains, evolved that sentience fast enough that we could actually look at that and say that that's wrong? Man, that would mean that 7 billion people would find one thing to agree on. See, they got their one thing that they all agree on. They are them. They support them. They back them. They never go to prison. They can't do a felony. They can't do a crime. Murder is perfectly okay. Rape is great. They can rape children. They can do anything they want, and they can all get away with it. Because they're not you. They're not the 7 billion people. They're not the cattle. They're the ones writing the tags. This is my cow. What are we going to call this one? You know, this is my cow. This is the people of Venezuela. They belong to me. These are the Americans. They belong to me. because they work for the corporations that run all of this, that are racing to develop the technology to prepare for whatever calamity's coming. But they wouldn't tell us. They're not going to tell us. It was a good movie. What was the name of this movie? Let me get the cow off of here. You're not cows, people. I think that, I think all day long, that's my friends and I, we're always screaming at people, you're not cow, man. You're not a cow. Stop mooing. I think that's what it is, mooing. Like I sit there and I look, I'll try to have a discussion with people because I talk to anybody. And I think in the back of my mind, like I'm trying to process like how their brain works. I think it's important. You know, you have to know why another human being that actually has a brain in their head and they have intelligence. They might be a mom, they might be a dad, they have children. How can they be okay with some of the things that happen in this world? And I try to go back and have a discussion. I think I just hear, But listen, did you look at this evidence? But well, okay, and that makes sense, and I understand how you grew up. But did you see this in the news? I know. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't want to push it that far. I'm thinking that if we accept the fact that every civilization has always comes to an end, always does. Maybe we need to focus on the bigger picture more than what's in the news and the things that they want us to fight over. Maybe we need to, maybe we don't get to make it. Like maybe that's why we keep evolving to a certain point and we just disappear, because we're waiting for this cycle to happen enough times till we are sentient enough to be as smart as a cow. Cows are smart, y'all. Don't listen. I'm not hating on cows. I got friends with farms with cows. The cows are very smart, highly intelligent, very sentient. You know, a cow, to save her calf sometimes, she'll give up her own life. They'll protect the herd, you know. The buffalo, the bison, the water buffalo. You ever see them take on a lion? They will. And they'll die trying. Y'all remember 50 Cent? Y'all remember 50 Cent? 50! He had that thing said, I'll die trying. I don't know if it was something like I'll make this money or I'll die trying, something like that. I didn't watch the movie. I don't watch stuff like that. I like happy things. But that's what the cows, the beasts of the earth, the inhuman, non-sentient creatures do. They'll die trying to protect their young. They won't sit there and let you snipe their young. They'll protect other herds' young. They'll die trying. We can't even get to the point where we can stop debating. Should we go save those children, right? So everybody came out and condemned yesterday, except for America. Of course, what did America have to say? America had to say what they always say. It was Hamas's fault. Hamas is the cause, right? And I won't get into we don't have to say that the American administrations always say that. They always say that. And I'll say it this way because I want to make it clear. Somebody has another point that they want to say. One thing that they all agree on is they're not you. Obama and Trump, in action, in office, not in words, personal, whatever they believe, who they actually are, but when they are in the office of the presidency, which is completely co-opted, they agree 100%. 100%. They chastise Hamas. They chastise the Palestinians because they're fulfilling that narrative. It's the opposition. Like, as long as you got some opposition, you got people dividing and fighting. People look up and say, well, Obama said it, so maybe it's true. Trump said it, maybe it's true. You know, and they'll go along with it. As long as you got that opposition, you got 7 billion monkeys fighting, 7 billion cows standing in their fences. They won't lead a fence and talk to cows on the other side of the fence. So anyway, I'm going down. No, it won't. No, it won't. No civilization has ever made it. Because I think this whole model of imperialism and empire and getting the monkeys to fight and keeping the cattle in their fences, it doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. It's never worked. It doesn't work now, won't work tomorrow, ain't gonna work next week. You know, the only thing that works is letting people have their free will, their self-determination. I don't think that you'll ever have a world of human beings that actually sticks around and stays, that actually tells each other what to do. I think you can't actually have a free creature, a creature that's based in liberty and freedom and living its life, and put it in a cage and it'll ever not get to a place of revolt. You know, people will say, oh, well, it's just crazy. So a baby died in the protest. Why would you have a baby in the protest? That's the mother's fault. You're thinking about it the wrong way. The question isn't what was the baby doing there? What got the baby there? What kind of pain do those people go through that somebody would feel that this creature, this baby that I have, that I love, doesn't have any kind of a life? This is not a life worth living, that I would take it to a protest. Maybe they said they got the best snipers on the fence. Maybe the sniper didn't see the baby. Maybe the sniper did. Maybe he was a psychopath. Maybe he didn't care. But why did the baby get there? What kind of pain are these people going through that it actually would make sense to bring a baby to a protest? Focus on the pain. Focus on the pain in the human beings that gets them to a place where the only way they feel they can express themselves is through death. I mean, really, when you take somebody's voice, the only action is the only way they can speak, right? They got to do something. That's what sign language actually is. If you can't speak, you got to do something to communicate to people. And if people are so bad off that their means of communication is giving up their life, if that doesn't wake up 7 billion people, then we haven't evolved to a place yet where we get to exist beyond Planet X coming and or the super volcano, the zombie apocalypse, whatever's going to happen when the climate's changing, because the climate always changes. You know, we have evidence of that all over this planet. The poles shift. It happens. Tropical plants in the Arctic, you know, because it used to be warm there. We have evidence. It's not like we don't have an internet to know that bad times are coming. But what do politicians always do? All the leaders, oh, pat you on your back. Oh, it'll be okay. Keep voting. Go to work. Pay your taxes. It'll be okay. Keep fighting. Oh, we're doing the right thing in Israel. You know, we're doing the right thing in Gaza. And we just got to be smarter than that. We have to really accept that we could have been born there too. We got to stop levying our birth privilege and really think about inhuman lack of privilege, right? That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, who's here this morning? What y'all got to say? I wanted to look at the comments. Brother Dillip, good morning, good morning. Over there hanging out on YouTube. Ellen and Joe and Mary, let's see what somebody got some comments. That picture of the man in a wheelchair with no legs throwing rocks with a slingshot broke my heart. Yes, Ellen, and there were many of them. When we talked with Brother Razeg over the weekend, the one that was the man that was in the wheelchair from the weekend, he's dead. They killed him. They shot him. Sniper shot him. Shot a man in a wheelchair. You know, and maybe that's the best example. There's a news article about that. I think it was posted on the live stream we did that weekend. Maybe that's the best response to someone who's still debating that Israel's defending themselves by shooting men in the head in wheelchairs, right? Maybe you just post the article and let them think about it for a little bit. But if we don't become sentient enough that we have empathy for other people who didn't win the birth lottery, we don't get to. I don't think we get to exist. I think natural selection is it's a fantastic thing. It's a wonderful thing. Personally, I think it all works together. I think that natural selection, evolution, Jesus Christ, Buddha, Allah, microbiology, fungi, I think it's all the same thing. I think, all these things are true and they all work together, but natural selection is a great thing. If human beings don't evolve the sentience of a cow, if human beings don't evolve the sentience of mold, microbiology, and fungi, and they can't have the ability to look at another human and say, I could have been that human, that life could have been my own, that could have been my children, if it weren't just for where I was born, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to speak for it. I'm going to become peaceful. If we don't evolve that sentience, we shouldn't be here. And it's very obvious to me We're not there yet. Maybe we're not there yet. Are enough of us there yet? Are enough of us, can we turn on our fencing? The fencing we're supposed to have. Why would, whatever Bible, one of the things that touches my heart right now deeply is all the Jewish people who are coming forward and they're explaining America's lying. This is not a religious fight. We have nothing to do with this. Our God has absolutely nothing to do with what they're doing. This is a governmental issue. This is colonization. It has nothing to do with the Jewish faith. My heart goes out to them because they're some of the few that are breaking down the lies. They co-opt the religions. Like I said, they're always trying to keep 7 billion dumb monkeys that aren't even full monkey. That's why we're dumb. We only got 98%. The 2%, we're supposed to evolve to be more sentient than the monkeys. Somehow we've devolved to be less sentient than the monkeys. We don't stand up for each other. Like even other species protect each other. Y'all ever look into the wolves that protect the babies, right? You got wolves and gorillas on occasion when they find a baby, that troop will take the baby in and raise the human baby like his own, right? If we don't have the sentience to look and say, man, this should not be happening. Why is this such a painful situation that these people would want to lose their lives? And it's so bad. You know how bad it is, though? Even the mainstream media that lies to us, trusting someone who shouldn't be trusted, trusting organizations that always lie, even they are actually starting to show it. They're showing the people being shot and the ambulance coming back and forth, and maybe it's because it helps with the tribalism. I don't know, but they're actually even showing it now. Now, the articles are all wrong because the headlines say dumb things like there are clashes. Clash? Really? Not one IDF soldier has been hurt. Clashes? Not even hurt, not even fingernail. Didn't break a fingernail. Bloody nose, sweaty, hot. No, dehydration. Nope, they got all the water they need. Nothing bad happened to them. 61 people have been murdered. 61. With no weapons. Clashing is not sticking lead into a human being from a high-powered rifle from 1,000 yards. That's not a clash. It's called a massacre, right? So anyway, if we haven't evolved, see, and this is kind of my point of it. We don't have time for this. We don't. Planet X, y'all see it's right there. Y'all see it? We don't have time for this. We don't have time for the ignorance. We don't have time for the infighting. We got to step up and this is why I talk to everybody. I don't want to fight with nobody. If you want to fight with me, we're not going to fight. You want to debate me? Oh, you're pseudo-liberal. I mean, to one side, I'm a pseudo-liberal. To the other side, I'm a Nazi, somebody else, I'm racist, other people, because they're locked in their cattle fencing and their brains don't seem to have evolved far enough to realize we all sink or swim together. And all this is about the 0.01% not wanting to sink with nobody. They don't want to sink with a hell no. They know that saying. It's an old saying, y'all. Elders gave that to us. We all sink and swim together. They like, nah, damn it, we gonna swim. It's like the Titanic going down. We're steerage. They're at the bottom of the ocean, right? Because steerage they didn't know. They didn't get the memo in the email that before they got on the Titanic that listen, the boats ain't for y'all, brother. We got boats here. We got lifeboats. None of them are for you. Everything works together on the micro like the macro. Let me see what y'all got. It's about human rights and justice. Brother Miko, thank you. Thank you. This is always it's about human life and justice. It's about sentience. That's what every discussion is about. Sentience. None of it's political. Are we sentient? That's the number one question. Are you sentient? Can you link together that it's okay that they murder children because we're in cattle fencing, right? Are you smart enough to see that? That's the wrong word. That's too deep. That's too hard. Are you exposed to enough of the world? Are you exposed to enough people of various experiences? Do you know enough elders? Do you know enough centurions, people almost 100 years old, where you can ask them and they give you the data linking all this together that they've been playing us against each other since the beginning of time and for the whole time that they've been alive? Now is not the time. So thank you. It's definitely, Miko, it's about love and sentience and And once you have sentience, then you can have a political conversations. But the reality is, when we get past the sentience part, when we get past the killing kids is bad, when we get past drugging people is bad, when we get past putting people in cages and forced labor is bad, when we had a sentience to do that, there will be no political conversations. At that point, politics is over, because then we believe in each other and we care about each other enough. We love each other enough, which is what the Jewish, the Christian, the Muslim, the Islam, all the religions say. And common sense, Mother Nature, scientific atheism says it as well. You know, when you love, because you look at nature's examples, that's why I like to look at nature's examples. When you actually love yourself enough, you can love other people. When you love other people that you don't know, there won't be any political discussion. Politics, I think, maybe is an invention. It's an invention of scarcity, division, and infighting. It's an invention of a lack of sentience. Once a being is sentient, there really are no discussions about taking away anybody else's self-determination, because that's all politics are anyway. All politics I've ever known in this country have always been about. The bigger picture, the root cause. Yes, Jasmine, we always got to focus on the bigger picture, the root cause. Stop focusing on the little stuff. That's why I have no time in my life, in my day, for little stuff. We are taught to blame the victims rather than understand them. Yes, Alex, thank you. And that's, we don't go to the root cause. We don't try to solve problems. Because problem solving will bring down the cattle fencing. They don't want the cattle fencing to come down. They want us to stay ignorant and in our fences and staying with our nation, our tribe, our little ignorant thing. But when you actually look at why the victim, what happened that brought about the conditions that made the person a victim, then you're fixing the root cause. When you fix the root cause, then the world's not divided. When the world's not divided, it's hard for the leadership of all countries, all groups, all religions to control people, to get them to be okay with non-sentient activity. Pain is a great way to tell there's a problem. Yes, you got to pay attention to the pain. When you hear the pain, like yesterday, when a family on motorcycles in Indonesia blow themselves up with a bomb, they actually had the video. When that happens, think about the pain. Don't listen to the politician. Don't listen to the leader, because all they're going to say is, we need more security. We need a police state, and it won't happen. Don't be that dumb. Don't fall into it. It's a trap. It's a trap. Don't fall into it. I know. It's Ty here. It's a trap. It's a trap, baby. Stay away, darling. Don't go that way. It's a trap. You know, they want gun control the same reason they want nuke control. That's what I was thinking about this morning. It's hilarious. Like, it's so simple. You know, it's like, oh, we got to have gun control. And I'm sitting here looking back from 30,000 feet, and I'm looking, I said, wait a minute. Why does the same damn country want everybody to give up their nukes, and they want all the people in their country to give up their guns? What is that about? How does that end? Do you know, Paul Harvey, the rest of the story? Where does it end? When one bully on the block has the nukes to demand anything they want from any country, and all the guns in their country to quell all of their people completely. Does that end well? Do you like that? Does that sound fun? Yay! Gun control, nuke control. This makes sense. Are you paying attention to the very simple basics of the tyranny, the authoritarianism, and the feudalism that's trying to be rolled out? Are you paying attention? And this is what I'm saying. The left and the right, they actually are both right. They're both wrong, and they're both right. The right's like, hell no, I ain't giving up my guns. And they know what they're talking about. They know history. They know where this is going. You know, but then they lose it on nukes. Oh, nobody else can have nukes. It doesn't make any sense. North Korea, give up your nukes. Listen, and that discussion is over because North Korea got their nukes, man. Trump didn't do nothing. Obama didn't do a damn thing neither. Kim got his nukes. He's good. Locked in. He doesn't need the Rothschild Bank now. He got his nukes. That whole discussion is over. Everything else is a facade. Oh, that was in the news today. He's breaking down his nuclear facilities. We did it, team. Yes. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He got his nukes. He doesn't need a nuclear facility no more. He now doesn't have to have a Rothschild. He can open the bank of Kim Jong-il, and you can't touch him because they'll shoot a nuke at you. And that's why they're going after Iran. Iran, you can't have nuclear weapons, right? It's the same thing, all the same thing. Let me see. Patsy said, hello, I'm getting in the middle of the Gaza situation. Yeah, I go back and forth. We kind of talked about, I mean, because it's all related. You know, we're talking about Gaza, why it's happening, why is it so extreme? The world seems like it's falling apart, it's destabilizing, but it's not. It's being taken apart, right? Because divided world, divided, destabilized world is very easy to control. A united world, united on one thing, Planet X gonna kill us? Not us necessarily. It might not get here for 80,000 years. Might get here in 8 years, right? We know they're obviously not telling us. And we think everybody who talks about it is a conspiracy theorist. But the ancients, before the new conspiracy theorists talk, the ancients told us about it, right? They told us that these bad things always happen. You know, and if you can unite 7 billion people on the fact that we never make it, human beings always get eradicated and we come back, if you can unite people on that, man, I was watching something good. I'm always watching lectures and talks. I know I'm a little bit of a geek, a little bit of a nerd. That's okay. They were talking about, and I'm gonna mess up the details. One of my friends knows, they're all smart people. They were talking about, it might have been Alexander the Great or someone, went to go visit the Egyptians, some king from Europe, some leader. And he was talking to the Egyptians and he was explaining Greek mythology. He was saying, you know, well, the gods came here and we lost our civilization once and they rebuilt it. And the Egyptian king laughed at him and said, that's only because that's how far back your civilization goes. Ours goes further back. The earth has been destroyed 13 times. We've lost civilization 13 times and the gods restored it. I know, sounds crazy, doesn't it? It doesn't sound crazy to climatologists. They don't tell you that. Doesn't sound crazy when you look at the core samples. Doesn't sound crazy when you look at the USA Today's report on how the solar system is actually affecting climate change. There are probably a million things that affect climate change, you know? But if we focus on the fact that we don't get to make it, then 7 billion people won't have nothing to fight over, right? Ronald Reagan, he messed it up. He gave us the clue. Ronnie! He said, somehow I would think that the world's people would drop their differences if they were facing an alien threat. It's my Ronald Reagan voice. You know, what if we don't have to face an alien threat? What if all we got to do is realize a threat is always coming? What if we just have to realize that we're always being played against each other? Man, the world would change, huh? We could think about solutions. Stop talking about the problem, because they always want people arguing about the problem. That's all they want. They don't want you to speak about a solution at all, which is why the Zeitgeist movement is the biggest movement in the history of the world. But you won't find about it anywhere. No one talks about it on the news. Oh, no, they won't talk about Brother Peter Joseph, boy. They won't talk about him. Why? Because they don't want you thinking solution. They don't want any of the fencing problems solved. They don't want you, the 7 billion people, 99.9%, preparing for the bad times that all of our elders, all of our ancients have always told us is coming. Think solutions. I always promote them. Venus Project, Zeitgeist Movement, the Ubuntu, I don't think it's called a movement, but the Ubuntu communities. Look them up. There are solutions to our problems, all of our problems. But it begins with stop promoting the things we know aren't sentient. It's not sentient to murder children. It's not sentient to hand your world to corporations whose bottom line is always greed. It's not sentient to realize to keep pretending like money's going to stay here and money actually is going away. It's been the main source of human labor, the only real currency since the beginning of the planet. It's not sentient to think that any of this is okay or normal. It's not sentient to force a child into a life that's not its own. None of these things are sentient. These things are beneath every species on this planet. I mean, there might be some dumb species. I don't know what they are. Y'all can tell me what they are. There might be some species dumber than us. Now, we are very smart. Smart. There's a difference between smarts and sentience. And a creature with a lot of smarts, but no sentience, is probably the most dangerous animal on the planet. And that's who we are. That's why the whales won't talk to us. I have a theory. I think the whales can talk. I just don't think they want to talk to us. I don't think that we have anything to tell them. I think that they see how bad we are, and they just like, no, I ain't talking to them. That damn thing's a human. I think the dolphins and they talk. They talk to each other all damn time. Human being come into conversation, they do some tricks. They swim, do some flips, flop the tail. They won't say nothing. I ain't talking to them. Those men crazy. What if they find out that we've been talking on this planet for 1 billion years? Hell no, I ain't telling them nothing. Crazy. Like, it's like they got their own little bunkers. Their bunkers are like they don't talk to us. That's their bunker. If the humans realize we're smart, we're intelligent, we got cities under the ocean, oh, hell no. If the humans figure out we came from Europa and the other planets that got the oceans under the ice, hell no. They'd be down here trying to research us, stick probes in our butts. No, they do that to themselves. They probably sit there and just watch with the aliens, and the aliens come with it, and we doing colonoscopies and stuff. Like they shoot water in their butt. Do you see this? Oh, hell no, they do that to me. Well, you know how big that probe would be to go in the well? Anus? Hell no. The human beings come around, they just look at it, they don't say nothing. We got to evolve, people. We got to evolve. Sister Melba said geoengineering. Yeah, I know. They're trying it, Melba. I don't think we're that smart. I think we're just dumb enough to screw up regional climate. I don't think we can change global climate. I don't think we're that smart yet. But I know they'll try. I know they're crazy and dumb enough and arrogant enough to try. Why? Because you'll get people on this fence and this fence, and you'll get people in that fence, and they'll fight each other. So they'll try, oh, we can save the world. Meanwhile, nobody's ever saved the world. It's not savable. It's not supposed to be saved. We got a period of time to get the hell off of this planet. This planet is not made for multicellular organisms. This planet is made for rebooting, which is why it reboots often. And when it reboots, it kills everything on it, and then life starts again. That's what it's here for. It gives you a chance. And I think the solar system works that way. I think you're given an amount of time to get your act together. I think that's why all of this happens, whether you call it God and chaos, universe, multi-dimensional. What does Alex Jones say? What does Alex Jones say? Multi-dimensional sex alien rapist, kid rapist, whatever he said, that crazy stuff. All right, I know. I'm not going to pick on Alex. But, you know, whatever puts, I think maybe it all works together that way. You know, if we don't develop sentience, then the planet screwed up with it. It's supposed to wipe us, reboot, start again. And when it starts again, hopefully whatever life comes and develops sentience, it gets smart with sentience together, the combination. Then you get to fly around in space. If not, got to get rid of you. All right. Good morning, Latrina and Sharon. Let me get down through the comments real quick. I'm way over my time. Ratash Joan, good morning. We're already in the zombie apocalypse with everyone talking opioids, addicted to cell phones. Joan, we are so deep in the apocalypse. I know. That's why I had no friends, Joan. Most of my friends online, I had no friends. People drive me crazy. People are nuts. I know they just walk around with the phone zombies, and that's where we are. Let me see. We have evolved your elite control as proven. Yes, we have evolved your elite controllers as proven. They certainly have evolved. They've evolved great complex systems, Ty, right, to control us, to tell us how to think, to tell us where to go, to tell us what we are. You were born in this fence. This is what you are. Their system is so wonderful and methodical and fantastic that a person can go to college, get 22 PhDs, and be a blithering idiot when it comes to being sentient. Not even have a clue to see how all this works together and how they struggle to get their retirement is what makes the sixth system roll. You know, they can't figure that out. It's a great form of control. It's a big club, and ain't none of us in it. Good morning, Lisa. Zuckerberg PR monkey for the Zionists. Yeah, and all of the social media is controlled, all the censorship. But I think that's a good sign that they are a little desperate. I think that's a good sign they weren't ready for this internet thing, and they're a little scared of mass communication, and people are starting to wake up. And I think that's got them concerned, and that's why they're shutting off a lot of YouTube videos and censoring people is because of it. I think that's why they're getting a little desperate, and you can actually see kids being shot by grown men on television in Gaza because they can't hold on to it anymore. I think they're getting a little desperate. America, they need another country to invade. They got to keep the military going. They got to keep the complex rolling. It requires growth, forced labor, colonization, slavery, requires all of that. But it really requires people dumb enough to keep voting for it. Not that voting works, might just be checking a box, but they need people who are so clueless, are so lacking that sentient gene. Maybe sentience is a gene, sister. Maybe it's like we look at the warrior genes, the what's it, 21, 22 genes that regulate what they call the warrior genes. Maybe there's a gene there for sentience. And maybe if you're just in that cattle fencing too long, epigenetics turns it off, and you don't have that ability to tap into the pain of watching kids being taken away by ambulances. I don't know. Yep, we separate ourselves from each as a whole. No protection there except the protection of the elite. Yes, Shane, and we are the protection of the elite. Unfortunately, they'll always find some of us who want some biscuits who will pick up a gun and protect the elite, and that's the world we're going into. Religion needs to be left out of politics, Alex. Religion needs to be left out of everything, Alex. And I'm a religious guy. Well, I'm a spiritual guy. I'm a Christian spiritual guy, whatever you call it, but I look at everything. It needs to be left out of everything. Everything. My religion, like I said, that's like the color of my feet. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Ain't got nothing to do with you. The color of my feet, that's the color of my feet. It's not for me to push on you, to force on you, to put in politics, to put in law. And I don't even believe in law, sister. So I think you need to delete 99% of all laws anyway. So, I don't think we should tell people what to do. Like a law is the opposite of freedom. I believe in freedom. I believe in liberty. I believe in leaving people alone. I believe in live and let live. You live your life, I live mine. You go do something interesting, come back, tell me. It makes my life even better. And I think if you got 7 billion people doing that, we can have an amazing earth. Man, can you imagine that earth? How cool would that earth be? 7 billion people go just do 7 billion different damn things. Develop 7 billion different types of technology and don't hand it all to a 0.01% through a corporation because they want a little bit of retirement. Imagine how awesome that earth would be. That would be freaking phenomenal. We'd be on Mars, Saturn. We'd be in Alpha Centauri in 100 years. But these funnels of truth and technology funneling up to the sickest people we shouldn't trust, who we never could trust. That you can't ever trust a human being with power over another human being. When we don't have that gene. Whatever that gene is that all the other animals got, the aliens, God, whatever did this, they let that gene out. I don't know why. They messed up. Jesus, did you put the gene in there? Jesus, oh, dang it, I was supposed to put that gene in. Oh man, Muhammad, did you put? You know what? I did the Buddha. Did you put? You know what? They didn't get the. Oh man, goodness. Good morning, Shirley. How you doing this morning? I'm gonna try to get down to the bottom of the comments. I'm sorry I can't read the big comments. They're a little too big. Plus I don't read so well. That's my kids pick on me. I'm not smart. Don't believe I'm smart at all. And that's the biggest problem. You got somebody dumb as me who can figure this stuff out. Oh man, if you're struggling with this, it may not be no hope for you. Shoot, I once jumped off the roof with a cape, tried to fly when I was a kid. Good morning, Forrest, and good morning, Cheryl. Mark, good morning, brother. Always keep me laughing. Control of chaos for profit only. Governments. Yes, spot on. Control of chaos. And it's always a controllable chaos. It's always get the monkeys fighting, but all the leadership kind of talking. Like, as an example, if we found out, an emergency leak, whistleblower, whatever, said the leadership in Palestine and Israel actually behind the scenes, they caught them on a golf course golfing, eating tea and crumpets together, I would not be surprised. Again, Muqtada al-Sadr, he popped up, now he's leading Iraq. It's not surprising. I don't have a shocker face for stuff that I know is coming. You see Trump and Clinton all dancing and singing, together. They got kids now, they illegitimate and they tell anybody about because Bill went on to do his freaky deaky thing somewhere else. None of that surprises me. Like they all agree on their basic concepts of who they are and who their tribe is, who their team is. It's us, the dummies with no power and no money, can't seem to figure out what team we're on. Always control chaos. Good morning, Donna. I'm going to get down to the bottom so I can get down to the bottom. Good morning, Crystal and Brother Joe. Yes, politics is all about controlling the masses. That's all it's ever been. Politics, the definition is to gain and maintain power. Yes, Crystal, it always is. And they always find a lot of lackeys that keep the system going. That's why I always say, let it fall. Let it collapse. It'll be done. Let it collapse. Let it all fall. Well, that's not a good thing. People are going to die. People always die. People dying now. A lot of people dying. Let it collapse. Let it fall. Let it all come down. Farmers will still grow food. People will start seeds. People will take care of each other. The people at the power company, they'll go to work tomorrow. Trust me. People at the water company, they're going to work tomorrow. Trust me. Let it all fall. You don't need this leadership. I'm a big believer in anarchy, and anarchy is just human freedom. I'm a big believer in it. People will take care of themselves. You take care of them. You take care of you. I take care of this. You take care of that. And it all works out. And nobody has to be trapped into forced labor, slavery, none of the nonsense that's based in this monetary system now. Let it collapse. Let it all come down. Let like a house of cards. Let it come down. Brother Al, good morning. Brother Paul, good morning. Hey, Ivana, how you doing, sister? Who else we got? We got Brother Shane in the house. When will Muika give up the nukes? Oh, Shane, we trying to say America. We're Muika. Yeah, America ain't getting the nukes, man, brother. You know that. They ain't giving up their guns. Shoot, the United States corporations that dominate the earth, they're not incorporated. They are not giving up their nukes. It's about control. They own the world. Nobody walks away from control like that. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. There's no way. But they make sure that you don't make no nukes. You know, because if they got to invade you, you got to have a clear pathway. Nukes kind of get in the way of invasions. Good morning, Donnell. How you doing this morning? Let me get down. Brother Walt and Donna. See a couple small comments. Then I'm going to go. Ronnie said, trust, but verify. And who's Ronnie who? Ronnie who? I got a cousin, Ronnie. Trust, but verify. But I agree with that. I totally agree with that. You know what? It's like when I meet somebody, and I always give people trust. Like, I trust people because they're people. Now you show up if you got like the $120,000 Benz and you got like gold watches and nice shirts and all that stuff. You're not gonna get a lot of trust with me. I see this coming. I might be getting old, not that dumb and old, you know. But if you're just a common person, yeah, I'll give you a degree of trust. Now I won't trust you and give you my kids, but I'll give you a degree of trust. But then I want to verify that I can trust you with the things I'm giving you. And we don't do that with government. People, they're in their cattle fences that we got a new leader. We're going to put him in power. He's going to save the world. They put him in power. He doesn't save the world. He destroys the world. And they're still like, but he did a good job. And no, he didn't do a good job, but they never verify. They never come up with that last, wait a minute, I elected you to do this. You didn't do that. You obviously don't give a damn, or the office won't let you do that. So I'm going to delete you. I'm not going to support you. If people actually verified the leaders that they put in power and they turned on them in those parties when they've proven to lie and not give a damn about what you want, we wouldn't be here. That simple statement, and it's like this long. It's like the smallest comment on there. If we just did that, we wouldn't be here. All right. Listen, I got to run, people. I'm sorry. It's a good discussion. I want to keep it going, but I got to pick some cotton, man. I got to go. So that's the message for this morning, people. That's what I'm thinking about, is we got to evolve our sentience. We got to tap into it. We absolutely can't trust groups or people that always prove they can't be trusted. We can't be the abused spouse that gets beat time and time and time and time again and keeps going back. That's who we are as the 99.9%. We keep getting our face kicked in. We keep getting smacked around. We keep getting raped. We keep getting pushed over. And all we're doing is blaming the belt, blaming the stick, blaming the fist and not the body and brain it's attached to. We got to evolve enough sentience and say, you know what, this 1% thing, this 0.01% thing, it's not trustworthy. Anything it says, I'm going to turn on it. You got to stop trusting people, organization, groups, guilds that have already proven to you they don't give a damn about your trust or you. So anyway, craziness in Gaza. They're still protesting today. Y'all say a prayer in your respected faith or not. Say a prayer to your spirits, your soul, whatever it may be, or just wish them well if you don't believe in none of that. We got people dying that shouldn't be dying. And we should be able to come together on that basic fact alone. That is the proof that we're sentient. That you can at least say, if you can't utter Israel is wrong, at least utter that grown men with high-powered weapons should not be shooting kids. And we don't have time for things that we should have evolved out 100,000 years ago. We don't have time for that activity. People, we're not a violent species. We're a dumb species. We're a dumb species. We're retarded. We're dumb. We're silly, stupid. But that's okay. We got cows to look at and cows to teach us the way. Just observe the cows. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Bye-bye.